Yeah, I don't pick topics for these things. I just find people, and then I'm like, hey, come
Okay.
along and you pick the subject. Like,
Are
cool.
you I didn't look into you. I'm sure I did, but I have a terrible memory. Are you into the horror and practical effects scene?
I'm into it as a fan and hobbyist, I would
Okay.
say. Like, it's not my profession in any way, shape, or form, but then
A
my profession doesn't
hobbyist.
match what I do in my free time anyway. So, like,
Yeah. So you've dabbled in stuff?
dabble and stuff like I studied film and photography production and development when I was at university and did
Film
like stop
film or
motion
film like movie film?
film, movie
Okay.
film, and did like fine art and stop motion and bits like that.
Oh, cool.
And then that kind of fell off because it was like the area I was in, there wasn't really anything happening in the UK. And then I ended up working in just like tech industries, and then I just kept my art stuff going. So I do all kinds of like painting and sculpture stuff in my free time.
Yeah. Okay. So the tech industry stuff, is that pretty stable, you'd say?
Yeah, that's pretty stable. I've been in the same company for like 10 years.
Mm,
It's just not my passion, you know. But it got me here. It moved me here. So
that's true. There you go. I've had a couple interns come in lately
yeah.
who you know, and it always picks up if we do like a video that gets popping online. The slew of people wanting to work here comes in to where we get 10 emails a day. And it blows my mind. Every young kid, hey, I want to work there. I want to work there. Where's your portfolio? Don't have that. Where's your resume? Don't have that. I go to art school, okay? Right? Um, and then I had one in here internship, you know, who was looking for that, but was like, well, at this job I'm making 25.50 an hour. And I'm like, I could never match that. There's no way.
Yeah.
This is a dying industry.
Yeah.
I've accepted that. Um, there's your waves and there's your alien Romuluses that are like practical effects. We did it as a selling tool. But in the end, it's the funnel of money that used to be FX is now CG, which is now dying out, and all those guys are whining because it's all going to AI now. There is no stopping it. And there'll be artisan CG guys still keeping it alive, just like there's the independent little small guys keeping practical effects alive, but it'll sizzle, it's just sizzling. It really is. And I knew that when I first started. I was like, I remember going into a big shop and I was going, there's no way this works. Like I could tell. Like the amount of money to keep upkeep a shop and to pay what people want to be paid in order to have a right the years of having a shop and owning, being the rock star and buying houses and you're making $1 million and you're doing species, gone, totally gone. And I tell everyone here that I go, I don't make no money. I will never be able to afford buying a house. But I'd rather live the life of, I mean, no matter what, I feel like we're always struggling, no matter how steady and successful our job will be. But I'd rather live that life making what I want to make and doing cool monsters than and I try to tell interns that I'm going, there's not really much of a career here, but there's not really much of a career anywhere. So really, what do you want to do with your time? Because there's not much of it, right? Um,
I think that's what I got from like the so yeah, to backtrack. Welcome to the podcast. We dive right in. I think I saw the first thing of yours I saw was the stuff you did with Meat Canyon, with
yeah.
Margaret and the oven, and it made me so happy to see it because it was that kind of impression of like, hey, here's someone who's just passionate about it. Like it seemed like you'd already got the idea down that this is just something you wanted to do, and you're already creating stuff, and that's what I kind of do with my stuff. It's like I know I make no money from the artwork I do, the fine art stuff, because there's no money in fine art. I
Yeah.
have a regular job to supplement that, and you kind of your passion just shone through, and I appreciate it. Then.
Yeah. I mean, it's all I know how to do. It's all I want to do. But and fortunately, it's enough to hire people to where they can at least pay rent. I tell them, I said, this job is you'll be able to pay rent, you'll be able to afford food and go out and stuff, but will you eventually be able to save and buy a house? Probably not, but most people, 90% of people can't now,
Yeah.
especially here in Colorado too. It's terrible. Um, but I always just say, well, weigh the benefits. We sit here and we watch movies all day. We work with cool clients. We get to go to set. I give everyone a turn. Hey, you spent a lot of time on this project. You're coming to set. You do the repairs. You're maintaining this. We get to do fun stuff. And then everyone's excited and proud when a new job comes in, when we finish a new job. That, I don't know how they feel, but for me, that's always outweighed how much money I make, which is not a lot. Um, but you know, it's hard telling an intern that because an intern's like, they're so used to like, oh, $20 an hour. It's right out of the gate coming into that. Now teach me how to do this, right? It's a weird mindset nowadays with younger kids. Um,
It's it is, and I suppose like there's a thought I was having before, like we kind of came on, where I was thinking I have like a phrase I've been working on in my head, which is what I call it, like cardboard box kids, and it's people who, when they were kids, got handed cardboard, and their first instinct was to make something,
oh
and
yeah, I did that all the
just to
time.
and that was kind of thing of like I know so many people from my generation who were just like cardboard box kids. You got handed it and you see it and you grow it. Whereas now, like you say, there seems to be less visibility on that. But I think it's like a mix of people who are expecting to just jump into industries and then people who are those kids being trapped in jobs which don't allow them to do anything like that
Yeah,
and just having to abandon it for the sake of survival, which is
yeah.
sad. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, that I'll never understand the argument of, well, this is a steady job and I get paid a lot. No, it's not. I know guys who've worked at Disney for over 10 years and got laid off out of the blue, and then they mail them their congrats on 10 years trophy. Like, and they thought they were locked in. Once you're in Disney, oh, you're retiring, right? You're like the old guys. No, none of that. No job. I mean, I feel like every job's rickety. They just don't tell you, right? It's just out of sight. They're all sitting there going, cut back this, cut back that.
Yeah.
Um, but at least, I mean, even as an employee, I was always like, oh no, is there another job coming? Are we gonna get laid off? I
Mhm.
remember all the bosses. I can't remember if it happened to me or if it was just a story told to me because my memory's going. But day before day before Christmas, hey guys, you did great, good job on this project. Have a good Christmas break, and there's no work, so don't worry about coming back for a little while. And we're all just like, okay, there you go, Merry Christmas. We're all
Yeah.
laid off. Um, but I mean, that was the name of the game. At least this. I can go, okay, we have this job, we have that job, we have this job.
Mhm.
And I always tell them it's job to job.
Yeah.
If there's no work, we got to find something else. But I try to always say, you got to figure out a side thing, have a side hustle, right?
Mhm.
One of the kids 3D prints, stuff and sells it on Etsy. This girl does the small side jobs and commercials and stuff. I've always done the side art, and now that art has taken the control of the full time. My side thing is I like buy and flip stuff from like thrift stores and stuff. And I just have
Mhm.
like an eBay store where I'm selling stuff. And that's like a side funny money income um, when things get really bad. Or if they get really bad, I kind of hustle and I do like independent, like sculptural toy things and stuff. But um, that's kind of the 8 to 5 now. I guess
Yeah.
10 to 6. And and the eBay is kind of the one thing that gets me out of the shop, which I dig. But
I mean, you've been running for a while, like with your own shop, and then you were running prior to that, right? like for a fair few years.
Yeah, the shop's been going for like 4 years now, but I've been in the industry. I was in working in shops for like 10 years before that.
Yeah.
And then before that, I was doing my own thing as well, just as a kid, learning it all and stuff and working for companies. So I've never really had, I did a job at AMC movie theaters for like a summer there.
Mhm.
But other than that, I've always just been doing the shop
Yeah.
work life. So it really is the only thing I know.
Yeah. It's I was going to say it's beautiful, but it's not because it's the tragedy of the the things which we create that is so unstable. But I know so many people who go through like an education system who never really catch on
Hmm.
that it's going to be a struggle, right? They never really catch on. They get like handed a degree in film or whatever, and they go, okay, cool. So I'm going to go work for Marvel or I'm going to work for whoever.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's no one sat you down during your entire education and said, once you leave here, it's unprotected.
Yeah, I'm
That's
very
crazy scary.
anti-school. It makes me happy. Um, I'm extremely anti-school. I tell everyone, don't go to school. If you're in school, drop out of school. If you've graduated, it's too late. You already messed up. Um, there's a couple kids here who are learning during summer break, and I'm trying to talk them into dropping out. But you get the one kid who's obviously his parents are the ones teaching him how important school is. You got to get schooling in order to find a job. Old mentality. No, it's not true. So then he's always defending it. Well, I'm learning a lot of this, and I'm like, it's all online. You can watch it on YouTube. Yeah, but and then it finally just boiled down to where he's like, I just know I'm lazy. I'll never teach it. I'll never do it myself. But if I'm forced to have a schedule where I have to go in somewhere, I sit down, they talk to me, they make me write it down, and I'm going, good. You're acknowledging that it is. You're spending tens of thousands of dollars because you're choosing to accept that you're a lazy 21-year-old, which is all of us. But I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
It's it's like a double-edged sword of like
It's so strange.
being being in your 20s and knowing you need structure to some
Yeah,
extent and being unable to apply that structure to yourself. So you just like, I'm just gonna throw away some money on this. I'm just
yeah.
gonna like,
I'm just gonna spend 50 grand on someone to show me, just play a YouTube video and make me sit and watch it.
yeah.
So dumb. I don't
I
get
mean,
it. So yeah, it was cool just like a month or so ago, a local college here,
hmm,
CU Denver, asked me to come and speak to their film class. And I was like, this is great. And I go in there and I'm like, school is the worst thing. You need to drop out. You should not be doing this. You're wasting your money. And use the money to make your film. Right. And they're all like, well, we go the way we're supplied the cameras and we get the lighting and it's all the teamwork and we're all meeting each other. And I'm going, yeah, that's cool. You know, I hope this class is the scenario of Lucas and Spielberg in film school working together, right? And they're all right, and you all build each other up and you all run Hollywood someday. I highly doubt it, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Pretty positive though. We've seen that school is just a scam now. It's just evolved into that, especially for practical effects. There's a couple of practical effects schools that I know tons of people have graduated from. I know the teachers there, and yeah, it's just the biggest scam ever. It really is. There's too many people who don't want to educate themselves, who they don't know what to do. They just go, I want to make monsters. Okay, here's a school that says here's how you make monsters. But it's like, look into it and talk to people. But I guess that's just, I mean, that people who take the initiative to do that's very few and far between. There's just too many people in the world. It's the problem, I think.
yeah, that too. Yeah. I think we also end up in that situation of like you can only have so many, and I think I said this recently, was you can only have so many like successes in like this field or any field. Like, not everyone in science can be a Nobel Prize winner because
Yeah,
at
it's
some
true.
point someone's going to be the Nobel Prize winner.
Yeah.
Like, not every movie will ever take off because they make 100 a day And you kind of sit there like, yeah, it's a lot of it's just timing as well. Like, which is why you
Yeah.
have to have that passion of wanting to do the thing you want to do, so it
Yeah.
carries you.
Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah. It makes you
So,
feel bad for everybody. But I mean, like, if you don't know what you're doing and you don't really, right? I mean, what do you do? I don't know. I try to I try to encourage everyone here and figure out like, you know, the interns come in and they show me like whatever projects and you just know you're like, wow, you're not really cut out for this. You can't really say that though. So you're kind of like, well, you should work on this and try this, right? But then there was one person here. Oh my gosh, you know, I like art. I draw sketchbooks, okay, kind of anime style stuff. Had her in here saying this, clean up that. Here's how you make a mold. And then I put her on tiny painting. I was like, you ever paint before? No, I never painted. And I was like, can you paint this little thing? Like a little tiny miniature thing. Beautiful. The most incredible thing I've ever seen. And I was like, this is crazy. And I said, here's another thing. Here's a more complicated thing. And next thing I know, there's trays and trays of these tiny little, that's like Warhammer scale, but
mm,
the most beautiful paint jobs. What I would see a 40-year-old miniature artist painting like that level.
mm,
And she's never picked up a paintbrush. And I go, there you go. You found a thing. You're gifted. You found your little niche. You have the hands, you have the eye, you have the coloring. And I said, this could be a full-time career. There's Warhammer guys who don't know how to paint, who pay tons of money to have people paint those figures. That could be a career for you. So we're still working on the project, but we're going to take beauty shots of all these, and she can have this whole portfolio of tiny painting.
mm.
It's incredible. And she's what? She just turned 21. Crazy. There's a skill she didn't even know she had.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping her around. That's incredible.
You can find them when you get it back and like tag people. It's just like, I know this person's good at this one thing. They may not
Yeah.
know it yet,
Yeah. I'm
but
trying
in
to
the
teach her the
future,
other stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe you stick with painting there.
yeah, stick with it. I think I honestly, it's we say it's sad, but it's like I often feel like the real tragedy of, especially like creative industries, is like every office you step into, like 100 employees, there's at least 10 employees in there who are that, who have this gift for being able to like make something beautiful, bring something out of the ground, take an idea from imagination through to like a complete, hey, this will scare you or this will make you laugh. And then, they're doing lines of code. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. I think it's what you don't have an avenue to explore it to where
Yeah.
you don't find it or you're good, but then you're just lazy, right? Like I know people who are geniuses who work at grocery stores because just don't they just don't want to do homework, you know? Um, but yeah, I was very fortunate to like meet people who were like, "Oh, you should really pursue this." Like they're like, "You're an incredible painter. You should really try sculpting, who knows?" And then they're like, "It's rough, but there's signs that you're kind of, you know what you're doing."
Mhm.
Um, so then it's just honing it in. But yeah, I guess, there was a hint of something there, kind of like that, where you're like, "Oh, you're obviously there's you have an eye for it." But you need to work on your anatomy, how to make it clean, all the steps of materials and processes and clays and
Mhm.
oh, this looks bad because you're not using this specific tool. If you use this, look, it looks so much better. Um, so I did get I've been very lucky. But here in Colorado, there's not really besides schools, but even the schools, there's not like classes that kind of, there's no class that's gonna have you paint tiny stuff. So it's kind of like, if I can see someone's work in a portfolio that has signs of potential there, then I can bring them in, see what they're good at and what they're not, and then kind of try to hone it in, you know. But
Do
it's
you
tricky.
find that do you find that you have like in your like your personal time, did you stop experimenting because all of your experimentation time goes into like actual projects now? Or do you actually still just like dive into, oh hey, I'm gonna try this. This seems interesting.
The experimenting's turned into like there's always like peaks.
Mhm.
So like I hit a peak with sculpture, so I kind of like cut it off there.
Yeah.
I hit a peak with painting, I kind of cut it off there. And like I did the best tiny sculpture thing I could possibly do. I did the best like puppet thing, I think, So right now I'm trying to challenge because just challenging myself with taking things to as good as I think I can get it, and then I drop it. Um, Instead of like, there's people who are sculptors for their whole lives,
Yeah.
and they're good at painting and they know how to mold make, but they only want to be a sculptor and they sculpt forever. So I don't do that. Um, so I'm trying to do the storytelling thing. So I'm trying to be like, okay, the hardest thing now for me is trying to write. That is harder than any type of sculpture I've ever done. And it's a whole new game, right? But
Mhm.
in every sculpture I do, there's a story, right? And I'm trying to figure out because I started doing the fine art and I did the art galleries, and in the piece, there's a story happening. And then I see people not getting what I'm saying. Like, oh, that's not what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
So then I was like, okay, I need to start figuring like I got to start writing something. This is the story because that's what was in my head, and this is the statue that I see that is explaining that story. So how do you start making the film stuff, right? How do you say that story with the characters so that people in a mask can look and be like, "Oh, that's what he's trying to say." Um, so it's just trying to chase that, which is really hard because then it's you got to build the puppets, you got to build the sets, you got to build the lighting so it looks like it's in your head. Because my stories that I want to tell aren't just a couple in a room, talking or a slasher gutting someone up, right? My stories are fantasy and kids and adventure and puppets. So it's just like you just go, well, it's just a ton of money and time. So that's what I'm trying to chase now. Um, it's just people understanding the what I'm trying to convey with the stuff I make. Um, and then you just start running in mud because then it's oh, I don't have enough money to build these puppets. Who am I? What does my story even matter? Um, I suck anyways. I shouldn't be trying to have people hear my story because who am I? I think I'm nobody, and I think I'm a bad person. So why do I want other people to know what I have to say? And then you just get this, right?
Yeah.
Which is just
You're
being an
on.
artist in general.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're on the artist treadmill at that point where you just like I can
Yeah,
do this for hours and convince myself not to make something.
exactly. But then, I mean, I guess that's everybody. So, and that's what's kind of fun now as I get older and I realize how much uh depression and stress and anxiety weighs everybody down. Oh, and then social media. Oh my God. I've never had so much anxiety and stress from people online. They ruin
Yeah.
everything. And then I go, why am I even trying to make stuff? Like, cause I don't know. I feel like as a kid, we're always taught, you make stuff because look at it, makes everyone happy, right? And then I realized I hate everyone. They're for the most part, they're really mean. They're so mean online. And now I'm just trying to go, okay, change your mentality. I'm only trying to make things for me. Uh, People are going to make fun of me and say it's stupid or it's bad or it's offensive. And I got to ignore it all and just go, I don't care. I'm going to make it because everybody puts everyone down online. It's so weird. As silly as the stuff I make, there's criticisms and weird stretches to make things not what they are. As silly as monsters are. I mean, I did a pug monster, Pug Lou.
Hmm.
I had a group of anti-pug people come after me who are like, pugs shouldn't exist. They're inbred. Pugs need to be cut off. And they're like, you're promoting pugs. And I'm like, it's a puppet pug monster alien thing. What are you talking about?
Technically, it doesn't exist on its own.
Yeah, crazy people. And then I'm just going, why do I do this? Why do I do any of this stuff? So then you kind of go, well, I don't know. It's really hard. I got to put a book together for this project. It's one of my tiers of the Kickstarter was you get a making of book of how I made this short film, which is the thing that's been a few years in the making. But we're kind of getting to the finish line. The puppets are built, the wigs are being made, the costumes are being made, the budget's lined up, the actors and cinematographer are kind of set up. And what delayed that almost a year was online bullying, criticisms, which I had never really received before,
Yeah.
and it threw me for a loop. Because then you go, is this messed up? Is this bad? Am I unconsciously making something that's negative? But in my opinion, it's not, right? Because then I'm starting to worry about what everyone thinks. And then
Mm.
so I in the making of book, I want a section to kind of focus on how online um comments and criticisms and
Mm.
stuff completely are killing creativity. Um, and are what is making all these kids not want to pursue the arts, not want to pursue learning this stuff because keeping your head down, staying in a corporate job, working that and doing it on the side is safe, right? Safe from the anxieties of that. And people go, I just don't read the comments, right? Just post or it's the online bullying, they start emailing you, they start harassing you, and it gets scary, it gets really scary.
Yeah.
Um, so and it's only gonna get worse, which is even scarier. I mean, I can't imagine. I've talked to, some of the YouTubers I work with before who have the
Mm.
millions of views,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what do you do? And they go, it's still the same. I still get upset when I read the comments. Uh, it's still a struggle for them. I can't even imagine. It's terrifying. Um, there was just this woman who ran a fox sanctuary who just offed herself because of online
Oh,
bullying.
yeah.
No
I
reason at
saw
all.
that.
An animal
Yeah.
sanctuary. It's getting really screwy. I mean, it's been really screwy, but these kids are growing up with this, and it's
Yeah.
getting even screwier, I think.
Yeah. I think we I mean I don't know how old you are, Adam, but you know, we seem same generation.
Yeah.
Essentially, like I think we're an old enough generation to recognize the signs, right? Like we grew
Yeah.
up in an age, we saw it come to life, we kind of looked at it and went, okay, this is weird. This isn't how normal people act. This isn't how people act on the street. No one's coming up to me and like slapping me every 10
Yeah.
minutes because I'm walking down the street. But that happens to me online. So
Hmm.
that's an unusual situation. But like you say, you've got kids who are growing up in that going, well, that's life. I'll
Yeah.
never be able to escape that.
Yeah. It's
Like,
so scary. And then honestly, it's only going to drive people to use AI tools and stuff to
yeah,
where you go, well, I didn't make it, right? It's AI generated.
distance yourself. Yeah,
It 100% will.
yeah,
It's where it's going. It's gonna be killing it all. Um, so I don't know. It's really tough. It's really tough. I mean, I've even had employees here going like, "Are you sure you should be making this? It is making people
mm,
upset." And I'm going, "What are you talking about? You cannot if you were to do that, we wouldn't be making anything at all."
yeah,
Gore makes people offend. Like it depends on the audience, right? There's religious groups coming after me once because I made a devil, a big cartoon red goofy devil, and they're going, "Did Satan, right? You're Satan." I'm like, what? Okay, but then for that in the mass, people can go, "Well, that's just religious people. That's easy to ignore, right? We're used to ignoring people." Religious fanatics coming after us and saying, right, Satan's bad, right? But then you go, people going, oh, this is racist. And then you go, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, whoa, that's scary. But then you're like, it's a puppet. It's a puppet monster. It's not conveying any hate or criticisms toward anybody. It's a character. It's one single character. That's a fantasy character. Or, God, I even had people say one puppet was anti-Semitic. I'm like, what are you talking about? What? Makes no sense at all. It's a puppet. Um, like I mean, I could see you can kind of like for like make an anti-Semitic looking style caricature of you know that is also spewing hate and criticism towards something like that. But this was something where I literally made it as just a goof, and then people are like intentionally picking it apart, going, "Oh, your design choice for this must have been influenced by that, which is a
yeah,
anti-Semitic imagery." And I'm like, "No, I
yeah,
built it. I didn't think that.
yeah,
I don't have any reference for that. What are you talking about?" right? It's people picking crap apart.
Yeah.
It's a pug alien. And they go, well, it's pugs, right? It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like, can you ignore and where can you go, oh, well, you can't ignore that. That's something you got to address. No, what? It's a puppet. It's just I'm
Yeah.
making puppets. It's the
I will.
weirdest. It's so weird.
Say like I feel like there's also like a lack of appreciation in the world of how many things which are made by creatives and artists completely by accident, right? Like where you're just saying like, oh, this has to be influenced by this. This has to be this reference to this, and people have been put into an online space to find criticism, to find hidden meaning,
Yeah.
even if there is no hidden meaning, because that's what the internet basically did. It created a criticism vacuum. And then you'll like make something, or the amount of stuff that I paint, and it'll just like create a shape. And I'm like, that's a cool shape.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything. I just like the shape of it. And then you post it, and someone's like, oh, I can really see this in your painting. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that wasn't
Most of my
intentional.
comments, like just for the mass, oh, that's cool. It looks just like this. Oh, that's cool. It looks just like that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And part of me goes, well, that's cool because, I post when I'm designing something, a lot of times I'll post in progress, like, here's the sculpture. And it is honestly just me fishing for someone to go, hey, it looks just like this. And I go, oh, shoot, I had no idea that was a thing. Okay, got to change it. But part of my job is I have to educate myself on movies, past, present, video games, right? All the creatures in there. Fantasy, right? Stuff in games like board games and stuff. There's art of creatures everywhere. Um, so it's not like I can just go like, oh, we got to make a mummy. Let's Google mummy. What's been done and what's been not, right? I have to know all the references and representations of those characters, goblins, ghouls, right? Demons. And then that's how I can influence, all right, what hasn't been addressed yet, or what's been addressed the least that I can pull stuff from so it does stand out and feels fresh. So when someone says make a zombie, I go, well, you got Walking Dead, I mean, zombies are the most broad, like you go zombies, aliens, right? Limitless, super broad. So what hasn't been seen, what's only been seen in the 50s, what's only been seen in kids' books, right? And what can I pull from? And then still people are like, oh, it looks like this thing, looks like that, right? But once people start saying that and you go and you look and it looks nothing like that, then you're like, oh, okay, I'm in the clear. This is good.
Just double check. Just
Yeah.
oh, it looks kind of like this. I'm waiting for to draw something one day and someone just be like, "Oh, that looks like my relative," and I'm like, "Hmm, I
Yeah,
feel
you're like,
sorry
oh
for your
no, it's
relative
them.
because I could draw some messed up things and that looks like your relative."
Yeah, I mean, I think in the end, everything's been done already, right? And
Yeah,
especially with AI now, it can just be generated like that. Um, so it's like, it's just having your own spin and getting funny with it. That's why I mean, I look at the broad board of practical effects shops, who's doing what. You got this shop doing armor and Star Wars. You got this shop doing zombies and Walking Dead, and you got, this shop. You got Henson's shop, which is like doing Muppet puppets and the occasional like once rando not so good puppet movie. And then you go, okay, what's missing here? What was my favorite stuff in the past? What's who's not doing that?
yeah,
And where's the gaps, right? So we're trying to fill the gap of like what was Labyrinth, what was Jim Henson's Dinosaurs, what was Dark Crystal, right? What do we get now? Essentially just reboots of those things, right? Reboot of Dark Crystal. Ooh, sequel to Labyrinth. Okay, terrible idea. But what were the expansions of if those worlds, if that visionary had different stories and worlds and stuff, right?
yeah,
It's just what's hasn't been done versus God, I can't tell you how many scripts come to me and the directors are like, and then at the end of the hall is the tall, pale figure and he's smiling. And you're like, what? This is every movie ever right now.
yes,
No.
yeah. We don't want that. I have
No.
a friend of mine who we studied film together, and every so often we have this like chat. We don't talk very often, but it's usually to drop each other a film, which reminds either one of us of what film is meant to be or like what a story is meant to be. Like you say, like where it's like a sudden gap and you're like, oh, I forget that this is what it is because I've become so bored with like movies doing the same thing. Like you say,
Yeah.
like, oh, I saw this coming, or I saw this ending, or this villain is obviously doing this, and you're like, yeah, no, we need those
Yeah, it's
breaks.
bad. Yeah, especially with creature design too. I mean, it's in a, there's always like the chunks of it's the same thing. Right now it's Slender Man, it's the smile, it's the freaking, just kind of it's just the typical realm of stuff. Nothing's really
Yeah.
interested me lately. Um, so I'm trying to, you know, but not many jobs come in where they give me full creative freedom. I've been very fortunate to where stuff has come in and I can kind of go, there's people that come with concept art, mostly AI art, already done. They go, we want this. This is what we want. Here's our influences. And I go, I can't do that. This is just bad. Um, and at those ones, then you just budget. Well, the cost of this will be what it should be because you're the one art directing this. You're telling me what to make. Versus if a script comes to me and they just go, this is the monster, but you can do whatever you want. We just want something cool. And then I get a little bit more, okay, well, if you give me full creative freedom, don't bug me. A lot of times I'll send them, photos of where we're at. And I say, you don't give me notes. You just let me do my thing and trust that I'm an artist, monster maker. I know what I'm doing. And in the end, it'll be better than what you wanted. Um,
Do you
so,
find do you find clients have like issues explaining what they want? Like, because I feel like you use the word there, which I often feel like a lot of artists get, which is like, oh, I want something cool. And I'm
yeah,
like,
everyone wants something
what
cool
is
and
cool?
original. Um, that's also just my lack of, I'm not, obviously, I'm not educated very well. So I just use a handful of words. Um, but yeah,
We
I
all
mean,
do.
every project comes to me and they go, I want the next big thing.
Mhm.
Give me, I want an iconic thing. I've had some tricky ones where they, I want an iconic thing, but then here's the references and it's written down, detailed in the script to where
Mm.
there's nothing I could do. There's no way to make this iconic. You have a slender man with a smile, long gangly fingers and black tar skin, and you're like, wait, no, that's already out the door. No. Um, And then yeah, sometimes they even argue with me. I mean, they discuss like, no, this smile will be creepy. It's it's crazy, But that's just me. That's just producers and filmmakers in general. Um, and those are the jobs that I just don't take or I make it to where it's unless I
Yeah.
get paid a ton of money to where I am actually making money on it, then I don't want to do it. Um, the Meat Canyon YouTuber has been the greatest client ever as far as just making it fun. I mean, he gives me full creative freedom. He'll sometimes come to me with an illustration that's like, here's give me this. And other times he's just like, give me a talking phone monster. Just do whatever. Um, but that's luckily that relationship's developed over years, and I think he trusts me, and our styles are similar. I can make stuff that he thinks is cool. His drawings, I'm like, well, this is genius. Like I can't get better than that. Um, so that's a very nice combo of both of our styles complementing each other, I think. Um, because like he comes at me with a 2D illustration, but it can't like physically it can't be represented like that in 3D, but I can tweak it enough to where it looks pretty close, but we've kind of grounded it and made it to where it can be a practical, you know, oven monster thing or a giant nose or something weird. Um,
I feel like those are the best kind of collaborations where you like not only like the way you can just like say, hey, this we're on the same wavelength, but it's like being challenged by the person that you're collaborating with every so often who like you bring up something you're like, oh, this is messed up, and like that's not messed up enough. We need to go slightly further.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I know it's fun because every project with him is hard. I'm on one with him now, and it's I've been spending the last month trying to figure out how to build this thing. These designs are not by me. These are designs I'm handed. Um, but then he says you can influence it how you choose. And there's just stuff where I'm like, well, in this design, its head can't move left and right. To get it to move left and right, we have to completely change this, which gives it a different feel. Is that okay? I think it would look better if it could do this. So, and then it's just a combo of hard and soft, and it's just there's 1,000 things going on with it. So he's definitely testing me on this one. It's very difficult, and there's just a million things to make. But it is fun. At least it's keeping us busy. But we're a little behind. I'm in have nightmares at night mode, which is always fun.
Just thinking about it constantly. Yeah, these things chase
It's the
us down.
worst.
That's what they do.
That's my weekend. My weekend's just working more, so everyone has stuff to do on Monday. But it's coming through. I had a big breakthrough the other day to where I'm
Mm.
like, now it makes sense a little bit more. It's just I'm a slow learner, so it's kind of like I have to sit here and mull stuff over time. He's learning that too. He's learned that over time as I and that's too when jobs come to me and they're like, "Hey, we need this puppet in a month." That's how a lot of LA jobs are. We
Right.
got to build this movie, but it's due in 2 months. And I'm like, I can't do that. I
Yeah.
need 4 months. I need 6 months. I mean, back in the 80s, they'd have a year and a half to build stuff.
Yeah.
But now it's that, which is another reason why practical effects are kind of falling to the wayside, is because,
Hmm.
well, it's easier to just shoot it and VFX it in later.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the benefit of low budget films as well, as you get a guy raising the money himself and he goes, we're shooting it in 6 months, but my puppet's the main focus. I need to get this going. So normally on films, we're the first people that get hired before producers or anybody. A lot of the times I'm just working with a director who has some funding, maybe even not full funding yet. And he just knows in his vision the thing that has the most question marks is my monster or my creature, right? Because I don't know how to do that. And producers don't know how to do that, right? They don't know of anybody. So we get in there and we can go, okay, give us all the time we can get. And the more time, the better the product you get, essentially. Because I'm a bad
Yeah.
businessman. So I stretch the money thin over a long duration as opposed to
Yes.
blasting it out in a month and having a bunch of profit. But it's a
Yeah.
better outcome, and everyone's happier, and it's a better piece to hopefully generate more work for the shop.
Yeah. I don't think there's ever been a good artist who's a good businessman. That's
I tell you, out of all
the
the
truth
dumb
of
crap they
it.
teach you in high school, why in the world do they not teach business or accounting? I will never understand that. My only thought is they do it on purpose to keep us all ignorant of knowing how to do it. That's my only thought. Because why
The only
why
solution.
don't we know how to pay taxes and do tax stuff when we're in our senior year? Doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
The
It,
tax
it, it
situation is ridiculous.
yeah, and it infuriated me because I was like, I'm still learning stuff. People are like, oh, you didn't know this? The business tax and this, and oh, when you hire employees, you have to match their social security. And I'm like, why is this not taught? Who is teaching this? I have to go to college in order to learn how to be in a business major to learn this?
Yeah.
That's makes no sense at all. Should be illegal. It should be forced. Like, why are we having history class? It's science class. Pointless. The most pointless crap ever. It should be business. It should be accounting and just living, right? And it makes no sense.
Life
I really
philosophy.
can't have kids. I never want to have kids because the world is so messed up and terrible.
Yep.
It makes no sense to bring someone into this. It seems like the worst idea ever. I don't get
No, I get that. I get that understandably. Though you do give a great motivational speech, Adam.
it.
You do make a person want to live in
I
this
guess. I don't know.
world.
I don't know. I mean, I every time an intern comes in here, I'm like, learn business now. In that school, I was like, are you guys
Yeah.
learning business or accounting at all? No, not really. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're wasting your money then. Learn how to pay taxes first. That's everybody's problem. None of us know what we're doing here. We're just getting money taken away, right? We're paying into this, paying into that. I wish I knew more. I really did. I still am like, maybe I should figure out like some kind of local class or just, I guess, just watch YouTube videos and figure out how this works. But it really does it confuses my brain. It's not my side of the brain because I think I'm just gotten too old to figure out how this system works. And I just have too many other obligations to really sit down and focus. But
Mhm.
if this was in high school where I was forced to focus on this 8 hours a day, and have to have homework to constantly learn this, that's where it would have stuck better. Um,
I don't know. I
I
kind of I kind of think of like taxes and like math and everything along those lines, kind of like language, where I got forced to study French when I was like 16 for 2 years, and I can't speak a lick of French. If you
yeah,
sat me down and told me to speak like do taxes, it would stick for a year whilst I did the exam, and then
yeah,
I'd get out and I'd be like, I still don't know what to do with this situation
yeah,
because like you, my brain turns off when I get to paperwork. My brain's just like, oh. Nope, nothing there. That's just a flat line of information because
yeah.
even if it makes logical sense, it's just not there.
I don't get it. It's really frustrating. I don't know. But then I just go, well, let's try not to worry about it.
Yeah.
Someday, if someone comes at me and says, you owe us money, I guess I'll just pay them money. I don't know.
I feel like
I
if I
feel
have that
like I
conversation, I'm
pay,
just gonna go to jail. Like it'll be
yeah,
easier. But
I don't know. I feel like I pay enough money to where if someone comes at me, I'll be like, that's like, what else is there you could take? I just gave you
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
So I feel like as long as I'm on top of it, and then I should be in the clear. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't get
yeah.
it. It's really hard. It's really
A
hard.
lot of stacks. I feel
Yeah.
like the lesson here is like there's like three or four things for like creatives starting out where it's like, all right, first you got to get past like your just actual passion. You got to figure out what you're passionate about that you would put extra time into this outside of like everything you're doing. Like, all obligations in life that you're willing to sit there in your free time and be like, hey, I'm going to do this. And then you got that extra layer of, okay, but also you need to, if you ever want to do this as profit, you're going to have to figure out, like 10% of that time to sit down and think about accounting. Like,
Yeah.
and then just the general effort of understanding that the world is slowly collapsing.
Yeah. And then the bullying and then the online. Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
bullying, yeah.
I mean, really, artists out there and people who've done this are just people who have gotten past all that. And it does make me respect them a lot more because as I'm getting older, I'm realizing the hurdles you have to jump through and ignoring you have to do in order to get where these people have gotten. Unless you were just handed the golden ticket and you got to bypass all that. And then you
Yes.
just don't go online or have a phone. And then everything's wonderful. But
Yeah.
yeah, it sure is a climb. At least it is.
It's a weird thing. I
Yeah.
was chatting to Dave McWayne, who's a musician from Big D and the Kids Table. He came on the show, and we were chatting about rich people, and like the older we get, we were saying like the more you learn about the hoops you have to jump through, and the more you have to do, and the struggles of doing it, the more you just end up hating rich people who just get handed like a budget, and you're like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Yeah.
Why did they get to skip the queue? But
Yeah. I I mean, it's kind of fun too, because, like there's people here who are trying to be filmmakers. I'm trying to be a filmmaker. And we're all going, this is hard. I don't know what I'm doing. Right. Oh, I have no time to sit and write. Well, we all do, you know. I play video games 2 hours a day. If I were to just sit and write for 2 hours a day, I'd probably be a more successful writer. I'm choosing to shut my brain off as opposed to making myself struggle more. Um, but it's kind of fun because we get jobs that come in where, a script comes in and we see it flourish and we see it get made. We help it get made. And then we go to Walmart and we see it there on the shelf. And we go, that guy did it. We saw that guy do it from the start, right? We see people send in scripts that get picked up by studios, and then the movie's like, oh well, now it's a huge blockbuster movie, and I'm like, that's incredible. This is the craziest thing ever. Or we get scripts written by some of the greatest writers out there right now, and we're going, this is terrible. Why? Who reads this and goes, this is a freaking this is a giant movie. Like, it can't be that hard then. This guy's doing it, and his script's not even that good. But then this guy who can't sell his script's incredible. And I'm like, dude, I would build the creatures for this movie for free if you can figure out how to get this movie made because that script is so good. And I know that would be a huge hit. So it is, and then we get to go on set and we get to see the director working with we get to see it all happen, and then we get to watch the final outcome. I mean, it's the best school. It's the best schooling because we're around people who are doing it, and we're seeing the success stories, and we're seeing the people who aren't succeeding when they should be. Um, and it is constant motivation to be like, see, if you just write the script, there's people like that, there's ways to make it happen, right? We're one of the things that helps make it happen. Um, like it's just how do we, right? It's just implanting seeing yourself in that person's position. All right. They had the script. I have a script. What are the avenues of, right, crowdfunding, or who do I talk to sell it, right? How do I get my script to that guy? I could talk to that guy maybe because we're buddies because we've been working together for a year building this puppet, you know? So it is slowly becoming more tangible as every client we work with because, you know, like I said, we're the first person that gets hired on a show, and a movie takes about a year to make. So I build a relationship with these people longer than anyone else, and I try to help them out if it's a good filmmaker and it's a film I'm passionate about. I'll put my all into it. They know I'm doing that so that they come back to me hopefully for the next project. And then in my mind, hopefully if I ever have a project, they can help me out, you know. Um, or you know, the filmmakers here, it encourages them to want to sit and write, but oh, playing video games is so much more fun, you know. It really is a lot easier.
Everything's fun if you can just turn off. But
I
then
know. I've been
you don't get that cycle which you just described. You just described like the beauty of being a creative is that, you know, you do bring things to life and you get to see that process. You get that hope glimmer and then it keeps us there and we're
yeah.
trapped and we're like, ah, I guess I'm doing this for another year.
Yeah, it's just trying to, you know, I'm somewhat comfortable right now because
Mhm.
like I can afford rent. There's an event in the video games.
Yeah.
Like like do I need the stress and headache of more people bullying me online because I made a film? Or am I comfortable with just people making fun of my puppets?
Yeah.
You know, it's baby steps. We're young, you know. I probably have a good 10 years before cancer comes, so
I think I could beat cancer by dying early. I feel like
yeah,
that's how I'll get there. You know,
I don't know.
something will happen.
I should be buckling down, but I mean, I'm just so tired all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Nice. All you gotta do is do the extra, like the little steps count, is what I always say. It's like
Yeah.
even just like discussing it, it's like how the amount of times I chat to a friend who's like, "Hey, I had this idea. I've been like mulling it over for ages, and it's just been on paper for like forever. Can we just talk about it?" And we talk about it for half an hour. 2 weeks later, they're sending me new stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that's what you needed. You need to just sit and talk about it. Great. Like, let's do that more often then, because you know, every little 1%.
Then there's people who make a minute and a half short, and then they freaking next thing you know, they're making Godzilla movies. And you're
Yeah.
like, well, they should cut in line. That's not fair,
Yeah.
right?
What did
Because
they
I'm
do?
sitting here trying to make a 15-minute epic with puppets and freaking looks like a Spielberg movie. And all my money's going in the hole. And I'm like, well, you know, whatever. And then everyone's probably going to make fun of it. And everyone's going to go, well, this can't be a movie. It'd be way too expensive. Or, you know, or your plot's dumb, you know. And then it's just on to the next one, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I've made a handful of little short, like music video things trying to convey stuff, but nothing's really picked up. Um, and now I'm just kind of stuck in puppet realm. But my whole thought is, I mean, I already know every little project does benefit. Things come from that, you know. I did the Puglu. That was like f- artwork and toys, and people like love that character. And then it just kind of fizzled out, right? I let it fizzle out. That's my fault. Um, so I know if I finish this short film, there will 100% be positive things. More work will come from it, but it's the online bullying, it's the money, it's just the me being scared, right? Well, you get actors here, my writing's bad, don't read it, it's not done yet, right? My writing's Don't make fun of my writing, you know. It's just the worst. It's the
Mm.
worst. Living's
I
hard.
mean,
Even making stuff. That's why, I mean, even sometimes I'm like, man, maybe I should just get a regular 9 to 5, just day job, and then just do this as a hobby because, like, screw it.
I'm working, man.
But
The
then
amount,
every
the
time I
amount of
think
people I
about
work
that,
with who are depressed about it, like, just
yeah,
don't do it. Like,
well, I guess, yeah, it's how comfortable do you want to be while you're depressed? You
yeah,
know, I guess is the
that's the
thing.
thing. Comfort kills creatives. It's we like I grew up broke, so the moment someone says, "Hey, you can have a regular paycheck," your brain goes, "Oh, great! I don't have to worry about paycheck. Let's keep doing that forever."
Yeah, right.
And then they get trapped, and then things like kids and life happen, and then you have to have the paycheck because you have to have that stability.
That's my nightmare. That's my nightmare.
That's
That's
yeah,
why I
that's a
try to stay.
huge
That's
fear.
why
Yeah,
I'm alone forever. I cannot. I can't even get close.
nothing but the puppets.
Nothing. Yeah, puppets and thrift stores. That's all I
Those
allow
addictions.
in. I will die a miserable old man, but I'll have a lot to show for it.
You will.
Yeah,
You'll follow the passion and the dream.
yeah. I'll have a headstone full of puppet images, and everyone will go, "Look at those silly pugs he made." We should. I'm glad they wiped out pugs.
That one thing Adam made told them that they should kill the pug industry, and that was the instigator. That was his legacy. He'll never know because he's in the ground.
Yeah. I mean, just
One
that
tainted pug.
that's a fun. I'm glad that happened because it makes me go, people are just crazy. There's
Yeah,
nothing. If you can look at a pug as silly and as happy and as fun as they are and go, this is not okay, make this go away, then nothing's safe. Nothing's safe from people trying to get rid of it. People just want to wipe everything out intentionally. It's really scary.
anything's sacred, so do it anyway. Is my general
Yeah. So
attitude
what?
on
We
these
should just
things.
have wolves as pets again? That's where we got to go back to, I guess. I
They
don't know.
recently I got told recently they reintroduced direwolves,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah. And they used like the George Martin or whatever as
Yeah,
like he's on the cover of a magazine holding the puppy direwolves. And I'm like, so this is like you're introducing a species again while also hawking a TV book series. This is the weirdest product placement I've ever seen in my life.
you can't have science without commerce.
Yeah.
This is
So
America, damn
yeah.
it.
Why is that okay? Why is that a thing? It just shows you the power of storytelling, right? I don't know.
Brings us back around nicely. That's
Yeah.
as much as whatever legacy or life we lead, the things we make will have way more impact than we expect them to. Is what I
Yeah,
found.
I'm hoping so. That's why, right? I'm just trying to find something that sticks before I go, or just something to where a kid someday will like, who was this guy? Who made the things in this movie? Oh, look at all these crazy things he made. That was neat. And then he could like buy my props on eBay someday. That'd be cool.
Somewhere in a thrift store there'll be a pug. Someone will find it and be like,
I'm waiting to find
"What
it.
was?
Yeah, that'd be the
What is
best.
this? Like, what's this going on here?" And
Be the
then
best.
little Google finds this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
I I have to leave the breadcrumbs. That's the
You
goal.
do. Leave the breadcrumbs. Leave him confused, angry, and wanting more. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
the three the three rules of that. Piss him off and then disappear. It's the best
Yeah.
way to do it. I think that brings us around nicely, Adam, to my
Cool.
last couple of questions before you disappear into the ether of the
How long are
darkness,
we
which is
at?
that.
Does it say anywhere?
We're just capping up to an hour,
Nice.
which is nice. We flew by. But I have a couple of finishing questions which I like to ask of each guest, which I get on.
Yeah.
This one is completely not necessarily related, but it's entirely up to you. But what's a truly great piece of advice?
I don't know. I feel like this whole thing is me trying to give advice, and then um,
Doesn't
I don't know.
necessarily have to be hourly.
Yeah, I mean, the advice is always different, but like lately, it's just I don't know. I mean, it's even advice for myself is just get off the phone. I just even the past week, I've been really struggling with why do I feel like garbage right now? And it's because I'm doom scrolling on TikTok. And then I notice I accidentally like I'm not thinking about it and I open it and I'm doing this and I'm like and then I catch myself 20 minutes later I'm like, "Whoa, whoa. What just happened there?" It's very weird. It's very scary. Um Even while I was sitting here, my phone was buzzing and I'm like, "Ruh-roh, what's going on here?" And I'm sitting here trying to check it without you noticing. It's very bad. Um, and I'm falling behind on work because of it, I've noticed, which is it's that's but it's also it's because I'm checking the comments and it's because I'm mulling, stewing in it all. So yeah, it's a big problem. Just if you just turn off your phone and just feel the stress you get from it, it's pretty bad. Something's up there. Maybe think
Solid
about
advice.
turning it off. I should think about turning it off.
Turn it
Just for
off.
the day at least. God, I
Or
gotta get
do
something.
whatever you need to do.
Yeah,
That's the best way to approach it. I do that all the time. I
yeah.
have what I call a block out days where I basically just tell friends I'm not reachable. Like
Really?
don't reach me. I'm gonna turn off. I'll turn off this phone and I'll just disappear for a day. I'll go.
Smart. It's because we're old guys. Kids won't do that. Not in a million years.
I
We,
should. They don't
yeah,
know the thrill of going out of house without a mobile phone. No one knowing where you are.
I know. Without a maps, yeah.
No map, no phone. I'm in town. I don't know how to get back to my house.
You're trying to
Like,
remember. You're like, shoot, I remember this. I've done it a million times.
doing the whole like redialing back to your house phone where it's like a reverse charge. So he's like, "Hey, can you come pick me up? Because I don't know where
Yeah,
I'm at."
I know. It's. I mean, I have friends with kids, and they're just always on. They just scream when they can't have the iPad and stuff. And I'm like, this is so bad. This is this is not okay. But
It's good advice.
well, I'm not
Learn
a
to
parent.
turn off.
Yeah.
Yeah, likewise. Um, well, my final question then, if you would be so kind, Adam, is you were actually someone I was following already, but were recommended to me by a fellow guest.
Yeah.
um, who had been on before and was like, "You should check out this guy." I was like, I already follow that guy. I already know that guy's work." So who should I try to speak to next on this
Who
show?
was the one who brought me up? Or is it secret?
Uh, no, the name always escapes me. Like Black Moth Society, who does thrift finds and then modifies them to be ghastly creatures.
Cool.
And he is unique in the sense of his face wasn't on the episode because he puts those creatures back into thrift shops without telling anybody, and people
Really?
can go find them. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm aware of who he is. I don't know if I've ever talked to him.
No, he was
I
just like,
was unaware
this
that
guy
he
makes
knew
cool
who I
things.
was. So that's really nice of him.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
God, I hope I follow him already. I should. I
yeah.
must.
I'm sure you do.
I wouldn't
I'm sure
recommend
you
anybody who doesn't follow me. Um, who should I recommend for the next pod?
do. Yeah, who should I try to
Ugh,
contact?
I hate everybody.
Who do you hate
Um,
most? I'll contact them. As long as it doesn't jeopardize my visa. Let's be real. Like,
I don't know. Does Hunter do podcasts? He's a fascinating cat.
yeah.
He might be hard to nail down though. He's popular. Um, oh, podcasts. I'm just trying to think of good artists who could use a shout out.
Sure.
Who do I like?
Remember, they get to pick the topic, so I'll talk about anything.
Um, I mean, all I know is Puppet People. What about Cody? Cody's incredible. He's just um
Cody.
Cody Rut Ruch. Cody Ruch. Cody Ruch. He cranks out so much awesome practical effects puppets.
Hmm.
And as far as I know, he's doing it on his own. And I don't know how he does it. He I'm curious how he's staying motivated. and cranking out so much cool stuff. He did all these cool puppets for a new movie coming out, The Barn Part 3, where he did some full size pumpkin suits. It was actually really fun because he did a pumpkin headed creature suit the
Mhm.
same time I did a pumpkin head creature suit. And I was just like, this is way better. This is way better. Dang it. um,
Love it.
but yeah, he's a really talented artist. And I wish I could hire him and have him move here and we can just combine. But I think he digs his own thing. Um,
That's fine.
but he's a really good artist, and as far as I know, a very kind person. Um, so maybe you could talk to him. I don't know. I don't know. I've just talked to him in passing and just said how much I love his stuff. Um,
I'll always try. I mean, I
yeah,
sent an email to your inbox on a complete random, whether you reply or not, and you
yeah,
ended up here. So who
maybe.
knows?
Yeah,
Maybe
I
the same
say
with
yes to
Cody.
podcasts no matter what. I feel like it's good to always put yourself out there because you never know who will listen. I just did a podcast 2 days ago, and I was like, man, I think I was really negative on that one. So on this one, I was like, I'll try to be more positive.
You have been a beacon of positivity, Adam. You just haven't
Oh,
realized
good.
it.
I feel like I'm always negative, but I try to spread the positive too. It's
I
hard
think so.
nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's easy to get like we're all tired, so it's just like it's nice to have a space to vent because we don't necessarily always get a space to vent. But then at the same time, that's why I do the podcast. Give people a chance to chat,
Yeah.
chill out, talk some
Cool.
stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate
No
it.
worries, man. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. I will try to reach out to Cody. I will tell everyone to check out your work, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
apart from obviously not the pug one because apparently that's offensive. So
Yeah. I
won't
know
be.
you gotta watch out. You gotta watch
I'll
out with
watch
me.
out. But on that note, I'll click stop record and we will talk to these guys later.
Cool.